Warriors unite! Back with another episode of Bigger Warriors 2 and the 1% Club, guys. Hope you guys are doing well on this Sunday evening. Let me see if I can get this down. Very good. Hope you guys are conquesting. Hope you guys are continuing to follow your path and God's purposes. And on this wonderful Sunday evening, hope you guys are doing well. This is February 4th, 2024. So let me do some shout outs here before we get to a great topic by Jose sent it to me. And I had forgotten a lot about this, so I'm going to go back to this. It's very, very good. We're going to talk about what I would do as a devil, what the devil will do, or what the devil is doing to us right now. All right, so let's kind of look at some shout-outs here. What do we got? Let's see what we got. We got Marco asking about cold showers. I think I talked about this before, but thank you, Marco. The idea, guys, is that according to the Fountain of Youth from Kelder that we follow all the time, at least I talk about it all the time, we're focusing really on taking cold showers, but you don't want to take cold showers, I don't think, until, if you do it before you do the exercises, that's great. I do think that if you do them after the exercises, you tend to then shock your body, or you stun your body, or you know, it gets cold. And so I think it would negate some of those effects. That's just my opinion. But I usually take the shower before I actually go ahead and do my workout. So, all right, but thank you, my friend. Sir Giggles, thank you. No Rapper 618, thank you. Warpath Buckness, thank you. Jols, I think 2036, thank you. Remington Tufflips, thank you. That's two of those from you, my friend. Tubecorleone, thank you. Harmony Willis, thank you. Mr. Van Dam, thank you. TKO, Mike Bands, Anthony Plaza, Yisrael, yehuddah, thank you, my friend. And Righteous Pleasure, and MK Hole. So thank you guys for your comments. I appreciate those. I try to always go ahead and give some shout outs if I can. All right, so Jose, this is at 2:15 here. Jose gave us a great thing. Now, I had forgotten one of my favorites of all time and listening to inspiration in the news is a man named Paul Harvey. Some of you warriors may not know Paul, but if you go back and look in some YouTube videos, you'll kind of see Paul Harvey. He used to do the news in the Chicagoland area in Illinois for many, many years. And I used to always be able to get his broadcasts, and I used to enjoy that. And in 1965, now, guys, remember, I'm 63, so 65 I was young, but I did view this many times as a teenager, and I love this. So thank you, Jose, for the shout out. So this is entitled from 1965. I'm gonna spend some time on this a little bit, guys. Is called "If I Were the Devil." So if I was the devil, this is what happened. Now this is 1965. Remember, and we're talking about we're in 2024. So in 1965, Paul Harvey said, "If I was a devil, I would subvert the churches." Well, what's happening? You know, we see that with the churches all the time. He would say to people, "Do as you please." Okay? So again, people are doing what they want to do. They have no moral compass, no stopping that kind of stuff. They'll do anything they want to do, right? Tell the young the Bible is a myth. Once again, we're seeing it happen. Convince them man created God, not God created man. We're seeing this matrix out there. This is kind of like the matrix here we're talking about. All the stuff that's not really real. I would have what is bad is good, and I would tell people what is good is bad. That's what's happening, right? We're seeing it all the time. Releasing energy, all that stuff they're telling us is good is really bad. Our Father, he says, I would say I would change our Father. He would say, our Father, which is art in Washington. So basically, that's everything is the God is in Washington. God is in government. The God is not with God. And so the more he's talking about this, is obviously the devil is trying to subvert people. And this is what you saw with the evil one. This is what's happening all the time. I would tell authors to make lurid literature. Well, of course, this is what we see, right? That's where our big problem is, trying to overcome all this negative images that we see. And then obviously then tell people everything else is dull except the images. And then, so everything is revolved around those images. Threaten TV with dirtier movies. Now remember, this is 1965, guys. TV was just kind of in its inceptions back then, and we didn't even have we didn't even have color TV. But he would put more dirtier movies on there so people watch TV more. Sell alcohol to the rich, obviously, is what happened, right? Tranquilizes the people, right? Have families at war with each other. Churches with war at each other. no nations at war with themselves until each was consumed. So guys, this is what's happening. The devil wants everybody to be divided. So what you're having is people are consuming each other, and so everybody gets consumed in the long run. This is the philosophy with any sort of type movement and things that we're seeing, that the devil is trying to make us divide with each other. Therefore, it's always important through God to love each other, to basically have that self-control so you can control your reactions to other people. That's key. Talking about, I would have media fanning the flames. Now, again, this is 1965, guys. We're not talking about 2020. So once again, he's talking about how media can be used. Even look at this, seeing this 30 years later, he's basically saying this. I would encourage young intellects to neglect discipline emotion. Don't worry about it. Let people let them run wild until you have drug sniffing dogs and metal detectors every school. What do we see now? We're seeing dogs sniffing drugs at school with metal detectors at every school. I've seen it before recently, all right? I would have prisons overflowing. Well, what's going on now? Right now, prisons overflowing. Again, this is, guys, 1965 we're talking about. What is that? 35 years plus almost 25 years. We're talking almost 60 years ago that people were predicting this, because this is how the devil works. The devil has got a hold of our society, transformed this matrix that we had into a blue matrix instead of a red matrix, and all of a sudden people have bought into this. He would talk about judges promoting pornography. Well, what do you think's happening? Now the whole world is promoting it, right? And this is basically like it's supposed to be right. We know it's wrong. I would take God from the courthouse, the schoolhouse, and then Congress. Well, what happened? That's exactly what's been happening, right? They're not going to have people, they don't want religion, because religion means responsibility. You're taking responsibility. If you have God, you have to take responsibility for your own actions. I would substitute psychology for religion. Well, what's happened, guys, right? And defy science, right? I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys, girls, and church money. What has happened, my friends? Boy, this is so prophetic here from Paul Harvey, 1965. What's been happening with churches? People have lack of control. This is the same thing that happened with the Roman Empire. Same thing has happened to all of this. But he's talking about this in 1965. I encourage you guys, I think it's on YouTube. Go back and listen to what he's saying here. I would make the symbol of Easter an egg, a symbol for Christmas a bottle. What do you think it is, my friends? I think, again, he's right on target. I would take from those who have and give those to people who want it, right? Again, what do we see in society happening now, right? People are not appreciated for hard work. They're taking away from people, making sure they're all equal somehow, even though these people are not working hard. Why? Because he wants to kill the incentive of the ambitious people. He does not want you to work. He does not want you to work hard. He wants you all equal, because you then lose motivation, and it's easy to fall back and start serving the evil one instead of serving the person you should be serving, God. I would get host states to promote gambling as a way to get rich. Guys, this is 1965. What's happened, right? All the states promoted using money, rich, using marijuana, all these things to get rich. Again, no moral values, losing yourself, and obviously losing everything else along with it. Caution against extremes. We don't want extremes when it comes to patriotism, hard work, moral conduct. Of course, this all fits in the patterns, guys. This is all what the devil's doing. The devil has got strong control of this world around you. And the more you know that, the more you can fight this by looking at your Creator, looking at your God, listening to your God, staying away from all these evil sins and things that can really cost you your soul. And all of a sudden, now you're playing with the devil one right in this matrix that this world is. This is this world. We're not in this world anymore. We are physically in the world, but we're not spiritually. Spiritually, you should be in with your God, your Creator. Okay. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned. Well, what do we see, right? I run into it all the time. People saying that the world is old-fashioned, marriage is old-fashioned. Be a swinger, right? Swing the better. More swing the better. What do we see on TV all the time? what we see on the internet all the time. All this is talking about having multiple partners, all kinds of nonsense. It's because it goes back to the devil trying to break up society to take it over, take you over. And so you can't do it, warriors. You can't do it. I could undress you in public. This is back in 1965. Lure you in bed with diseases that can't be cured, right? And so basically what he's basically saying here, guys, is that this is how the devil operates. The devil wants you to be divided. And he finishes up by saying, if I was a devil, I would just keep doing what I'm doing. Because back in 1965, all this stuff was happening. People were talking about this in 65 because they felt like they wanted to get away from all the rules. And I remember this as a kid. All the rules. And people want to do whatever they want to do. Free love, free this, free that. Nothing is free, my friends, according to God. You're always taking consequences for your actions. And if you're going to sleep with a bunch of people, you're going to get those consequences. If you're going to be releasing, you're going to get those consequences. So the bottom line, guys, is that as Paul Harvey's talking about back in 1965, he always used to end with the story in Good Night, Paul Harvey. But the idea, guys, we're talking about here is that if the devil gets a hold of you, which, at times it happens to all of us at times, we have to always be vigilant, always be on top of what's happening with our lives so that we don't get caught doing things that put us back and give our soul back to Satan and stay away from that. So if you guys get a chance, please take a look and view it online. It's a great thing. It's called If I Were the Devil by Paul Harvey. It's only like 3 minutes long, but it talks about all the things we're talking about here. And that's really basically what we're saying, is that you have to be on guard all the time. This is why we say this is a war. This is a battle. Because as Paul Harvey's talking about, look at all the things he's talking about in 1965. That's happening right now. Schools, and I work in the schools. School is crazy, right? Doing anything they want to do. The kids doing anything they want to do. No moral compass, no God, no nothing, right? Doing drugs, right? Young high schoolers doing drugs, sex all over the place, right? All these things are happening, and you have to be that beacon, warrior. You have to be that beacon that has self-control and saying, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go into temptation with somebody. I'm not going to go ahead and lose myself because the world is saying we should do that. The world right now, guys, is wrong. Your Creator, your God, is correct. Listen to your God, listen to your Creator, and do the things that are right, because that's going to be making you more successful in the long run, and it's going to stop the devil in his tracks. Continue battling the devil all the time. And guys, always remember, I always say 2 things. As you guys, I hope you guys have a nice week, and we'll talk again on Wednesday. Well, first of all, every day is a new day to a great warrior, and each one of you guys is great warriors. I appreciate your subscriptions, your comments, good or bad. I appreciate those. I appreciate all your help with subjects, matters, and things like that. Thanks for Jose for this one. And second, guys, this is why we talk about this. 1965, Paul Harvey's talking about all the things happening right now. And he's long gone from our world. But the things that he's talking about continue to happen, because the devil will never leave us until we have put him in the ground 10 feet under by trying to make sure we stay with who we are. And that's following our God, in my case, Lord Jesus Christ, making sure that we continue not to lose the battle, because we're going to continue to battle on!